Hello and welcome to the Corgi Town USA podcast. I'm Candy from Corgi Town USA. This is Chuckles, the spokescorg.
I am Catherine from Corgi Town USA, and this is Digby, the Corgi of the board, chairman of the board.
He's chair of the Corgi committee.
He is chair of the Corgi committee.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us tonight. We're so super excited. We are about to introduce you to Elizabeth Kwan and Beebo, one of our favorite corgis.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is that journey, how Beebo has changed her life, and maybe talk a little bit about traveling and moving and things like that. And we always talk about how corgis changed our life. My very first corgi I got in high school. Kat is picking corgi fur out of the microphone.
That's how corgis have changed my life. So go ahead and talk about your corgi, and then I'll talk about how corgis changed my life.
Oh, any and all of us that have corgis know that you find fur everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere. You wake up and it's just covering your face, and you find it in places on your body that you didn't even know you had. I might speak from a little bit of experience, but I have three. Well, I have 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. You have my son sometimes.
Yeah, we have Digby, we have Chuckles, Hammer, and Booger. And so, yeah, there is fur everywhere. And, but my very, very first corgi was a little corgi named Kira. And that was my aunt's corgi. And nobody knew what a corgi was back then.
Nope.
I didn't know what a corgi was. We had this whole exchange where I was like, what is that? Is that a dog? And that was 21 years ago. I'm dating myself.
Oh my goodness.
I know. But then in 2004, I got Lilo, and he actually passed away 2 years ago today.
Oh.
And he was 15, and we had a wonderful life together. But, the Corsi changed my life because I've learned that I can't live without them.
You have learned that.
Yeah, I've had 6. And so my dear sweet Zelda, she departed the Rainbow Bridge in 2015.
Yes.
And now I have Chuckles, Hammer, and Booger, and sometimes Digby.
And sometimes Digby.
And you have Digby and sometimes Chuckles.
I have Digby and sometimes Chuckles. That's right. Hi, Chuckles.
So you want to tell our audience how Digby's changed your life other than being covered in fur?
Other than being covered in fur, which is... I already have a cat. I actually had 2 cats when Digby came into our lives. And unfortunately, one of my cats passed away unexpectedly. And
poor baby.
And Digby has helped me exercise because Digby and I go hiking every morning, or almost every morning. Digby came to me because I was hanging out at Candy's house. Many of you have heard this story, but I was hanging out at Candy's house after my husband passed away in May of 2020. And so I would, of course, burst out into tears. And Digby would come up and put his little paws on me and lick me and kiss me. And I thought, I think Barry's sending me this little companion. And so in July of 2020, I brought Digby home, and he's been with me ever since. He sometimes drives me crazy. He many times just sits on the couch with me, or he sits under my desk. And he's a constant companion. Now, my darling cat, Naboo, sleeps with me. Digby kennels at night, which is great because I don't think he could get up on my bed. But Naboo...
Really? He jumped up on the kitchen table and ate her food, so maybe.
That's true. But he had a step from...
He's very industrious.
Yeah, he went chair and then kitchen table. He did do that. And Naboo sleeps with me, and she's on my desk. He's under my desk. It's lovely to have them. It's lovely to talk to them. It's great walking with him, hiking, staying in shape, and just having this companion that I can talk to all the time. So Digby's definitely changed my life, for sure.
He's very healing for you.
He is very healing.
It's beautiful.
It is. He is a healing little dog. He doesn't heal. He's a healing little dog.
Oh, but that's not for lack of trying.
No, I do. I try in 2 languages. Digby is bilingual.
Yes, he speaks Italian.
He speaks Italian. Digby understands Italian and English.
And Bork. Fluent in Bork.
That's right.
Well, I always tell everyone, there are these constants that I've learned from having corgis. And that is that patience may be a virtue, but it's not a requirement. Every day is an adventure. Love much, sleep often, Zoom and frap whenever possible, and be the most loyal friend you can be.
Absolutely.
So, with that, we are going to bring on our honored guest, a good corgi friend of ours named Beebo and his mom, Elizabeth.
And there we are.
Hey guys.
Hi, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having us.
How are you doing?
We're doing pretty good. Beebo's a little whiny right now, so I don't know how long he will stay on my lap. We'll try for as long as we can, though.
We understand. Every time we do podcasts, I'm sitting here with Chucky, and sometimes he's wigglier than others. But that's why Digby isn't up here all the time, because he likes to join us, but only for a minute. And then he's ready to go do his own thing, usually bark in the middle of the broadcast.
That's usually
He's just Beebo's ready to run around.
Well, so how old is Beebo now?
He's 2.5.
2.5, that's right. So Chucky was only, I think they're about the same. Let's see, that was 2018. Yeah, so Chucky was just a few months old when we went to Beebo's first birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I remember meeting you guys there.
Yeah, it was such a fun party. There were so many corgis showed up, and she had cupcakes, little cupcakes, and Booger ate the entire thing, the cupcake and the paper it was sitting in.
Booger is this big. I'm gonna guess the cupcake was like this big.
It was about the size of her head.
Oh my gosh.
But she ate the whole thing. The boys were, oh, okay, we eat this, but not this part. But Booger, that's why I call her Booger Brain. She's a little silly, but she's so sweet. But she was like, oh, this is delicious. And I was like, don't eat the, okay.
Eat the paper.
We're eating the paper.
Hey.
So I want to ask, what led you to seeking out Beebo? What led you to seeking out a corgi?
So when I've never had a dog before Beebo, and when I was in college, it was my junior year. My mental health was in a really, really bad place. It's okay. And my boyfriend.
They're so patient.
I hope he's not too loud.
No, he's coming through.
We're used to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, my boyfriend at the time and my therapist, they were saying like, maybe you should look into getting some sort of pet. They recommended a dog just because, they will let you know when they need things. And it's like a reminder to take care of myself and just having that emotional support.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really know what kind of dog I want. And my boyfriend, he showed me corgis. So he showed me a bunch of them on Instagram. And yeah, I'll put them down.
Bye, Beebo. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, so he showed me a bunch of corgis on Instagram and, blogs after college. He showed me Gatsby. And I just fell in love. I just think they're so cute. Their ears, their butts, their temperament. I just looked into like what their needs are, and I just thought that they were a really good fit for me.
That's so awesome. So would you say that he helped you a lot? Is that part of how he's changed your life, is that he helped with you feel better and feel a little bit more mentally balanced and a little bit more calm? Yes,
he has brought so much joy into my life, and I think my perspective of life has really changed since I've gotten him.
They bring so much joy, and you're right. That's when I was talking about how they've changed my life, how I don't know how I'd live without them. I'm right there with you. I struggle with anxiety and depression and general anxiety disorder. And I don't know how I ever coped with that before I had them.
Yes, exactly. That's how I feel. I was like, how did I live my whole life without a dog?
Yeah. And then you get, the perfect dog, because of course Beebo is the perfect dog.
Right.
And then you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how did I not find you sooner? I mean, they find you at the right time, but you're like, how in the world did I ever, you're right. You can't measure the joy they bring. It's incredible, which is why us corgi people are a little crazy. And I definitely have OCD, and I have a story to tell you later. We may be looking at another rescue, I've had 6, we might be. So that's possible in the future. We will see. But what have you learned from having him?
I I mean, Beebo pretty much, to sum it up, I would say that he taught me to be me. Um, before I had him, I was really shy. I moved to Arizona by myself for school, so I didn't really know anyone. And I had difficulty making friends and all of that. I was just so busy and dealing with my own issues. But after I got him, he kind of was like the icebreaker for me to meet people. People would come say hi to him, and I've made a bunch of friends that I still talk to now because of Beebo. He's led me to, friends in the Arizona Corgi community. We have a group of our best friends, corgis and humans, that we all got together because we all have corgis and we all play Animal Crossing.
Oh, yeah. Does Beebo have a room in Animal Crossing?
He does.
You could create rooms, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so you can like expand your house and stuff. So I have a room for Beebo.
Awesome.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and I mean, we've made friends from all over the world because of Instagram. His Instagram, and people have actually messaged me about how Beebo has helped them with their mental health, and I've really connected with people because of him. So, that's probably the main thing, but, he's just taught me to enjoy the small things in life, like, his little tippy tappies when he comes to snuggle with me, when he rolls on treats, things like that, and pushing me out of my comfort zone and making me realize that I can be myself and I'll be accepted.
To be unapologetically yourself, like they are.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, they are absolutely unapologetically themselves. For sure, Digby's like, hi, fart.
Yeah, all the time.
You are unapologetically yourself.
She's like, you didn't tell me corgis were so demanding. And I was like, oh, I was going to let you figure that one out on your own.
You find out really fast.
Yeah. I need to sit next to you all the time. No, you can't close the door to the bathroom. I need to sit next to you all the time. No, you can't sit on the couch. No, you can't anything.
No, privacy is a thing of the past.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely with that one.
So Beebo is named after someone famous. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so he's named after Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco. Panic is my favorite band. I've been a fan of them since like middle school. I know pretty much all of their songs, all the lyrics. I've seen them in concert like 5 or 6 times. I've met Brendan. I just think he's such a good and genuine person. I've listened to him talk. He talks about mental health sometimes, and him and his music just got me through some rough times. And his nickname is Beebo. Because Brendan Boyd Urie, so fans decided to call him Beebo, and so that's where I got Beebo's name from.
Aw.
Does he know?
Yes.
Okay.
Does Brendan know, or does Beebo know?
Does Brendan know?
Yeah. Brendan doesn't know, but I make it very clear to Beebo that I'll play him all the time. I'm like, this is the person you're named after.
So that makes me so by the way, I salute that move. I'm a huge music fan. I'm a drummer in a couple punk bands, and I love music. So I love what you've done there. And Chucky and I actually have songs that we dance together to. And one of them is a few of them are Chuck Berry songs. I'm like, Chucky, it's Chuck Berry. We have to dance. So he hears that all the time.
With poor Digby, all he ever hears is Billy Joel and the soundtrack from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, because I'm far older. Thank you, okay, so you don't like, you and your mother don't like Billy Joel. That's great. That's just fabulous.
I've taught him well. So we have a whole segment where we talk about traveling with your corgi. And I'm jumping around a little bit here, but so you were in Utah for a while, is that correct?
Yeah, so we had to move to Utah temporarily because my dad passed away. I had to take care of family.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. But yeah, we had to move back for a few months, pretty last minute, and we drove from Phoenix to Salt Lake City, and then Salt Lake City and back.
How long is that drive?
It's I think it's about 11 or 12 hours. We split it. We stayed in Vegas overnight both times.
Oh, that makes it a little easier.
Right.
That's because I think of 12 hours straight shot, which I've done, but not with dogs. I've been on a lot of cross country road trips with all the dogs. One time, so this is when I still had Lilo. We went all the way from Phoenix to Dallas, Texas, and then we went up to Oklahoma, which that was kind of a second leg of the trip. But all the way to Dallas, Texas, we stayed in, I think, El Paso on the way back, and then Amarillo on the way. Was it Amarillo? I don't know, somewhere in Texas. Texas is a big place, someplace in Texas, but I can't remember coming or going. But that drive gets long. And at that point, Lilo was 14 and Tucky was only about 12 weeks old. So that was a lot of stopping with my little puppy who was still learning potty training and my geriatric boy.
Got all the potty training and just, I gotta pee.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta go now, Mom.
Yeah.
Well, and he also had started to lose his sight, so he couldn't see. So we also would have to, gently pick him up, put him down, and help, gently show him where to go. But yes, I think about driving that far, and I'm like, oh. So did Beebo like it up there? Is it colder in Utah? I've never actually been. So how did he do in the climate? Did he like being in a new environment?
He really likes Utah. He's been a few times. Usually we fly. But he's done the road trip at least a couple times just because my family's, over there.
Right.
But he really, really likes it because it's cooler. It snows, and he just loves running around in the snow. His dad lives there, his grandparents, and he has a couple friends that are up there, dog friends that he's really close with that he gets to visit too. So he loves visiting whenever we can.
Yeah, he gets to see all of his friends. He gets to be fawned upon by more people and more dogs.
Yeah, everybody in the family. So how did Beebo do on the drive? What was that like? And what things did you do to prepare the drive?
That's a good question. So Beebo, he does really well in the car. I just got really lucky, I think. Whenever he's in the car, he either just sits there quietly and looks out the window or will sleep.
What a good boy.
Yeah, I got like, oh, he's right there. I didn't realize. He's like, I'm still going to join, but over here.
I hear you talking about me. I need to be a part of this, but on my terms.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, he does really well. I have like a seat cover in the back of my car just so he doesn't get, corgi glitter everywhere. And
how well does that work, by the way? Because I've had 3 of them, and it seems like I'm not sure why I have them when you take them out.
I don't care anymore.
They've worked really well for me so far. And I didn't have one for the first year. I had Beebo, and his fur was just like stuck in the seat, and I had to go get it detailed. And I was like, I'm not doing this again. I'm using a seat cover, and it's worked really well for me.
I swear it's adhesive on one side. Like, I swear it's adhesive on one side, and because once it gets in certain materials, you're like, yeah, that's not coming out.
Are you like the blue? So what did you do to prep for the trip?
So I always make sure Beebo has a bed in the back seat.
Okay.
One day I'm going to get him a car seat, but as for now, he has the entire back seat to himself. He has a bed. I put toys and treats back there. I make sure in the morning that before we go for a long walk. So he goes potty. I only give him a little bit of water, and then we eat when we make it to our destination. And he does really well in the car. He will just sleep through it. And I think we just stopped. Probably he can last like 2 to 3 hours without stopping before he'll let me know that he needs to go to the bathroom.
He's a real road dog then.
Yes, I got really lucky with him.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So I've been on one road trip with Digby.
Mm-hmm.
We went out to LA to see my cousin.
Which, for those who don't live in Phoenix, it's about a 6-ish hour drive.
5.5 if I'm driving.
Not if law enforcement's listening. She always obeys the rules. You see the halo?
I always obey the rules. DPS. So anyway, I think I stopped maybe once or twice. And Digby doesn't really complain much about anything. Do you find, actually this question is for either one of you, since I don't do many road trips with Mr. Digby, do they need to go potty more often? yes, I didn't give him water for a few hours before, but is the movement, the nervousness, do they need to go potty more?
I would say it depends on the dog.
What about you, Elizabeth? What do you think?
I say it depends too. We tend to just stop every couple hours just to stretch our legs, let Beebo go potty if he needs to. But for the most part, he doesn't ask to go. I just let him go just in case.
Right, of course.
Yeah. And if like Booger's very nervous. I rescued her from a pretty poor situation. And so she's just a nervous dog, and she gets a nervous belly. And I've flown with her quite a bit, which I talk about pretty often. When I would go on business trips, I would fly with her, and we would do kind of the same thing. We make sure she went potty. We would take it easy on food and drinks. But people see corgis and they want to give them snacks, and you're like, "No, we're traveling. Please, no snacks. You can pet her, but don't give her snacks." But she is a nervous belly. So after. Yeah. If she could do the plane ride, which you get there early, you're there for an hour. She's got to go in her little bag. We did about 3 hours on the plane, and then an hour before, and then about an hour after. But as soon as we're done, she is ready. She's got to go to the restroom. Mm-hmm. But like Chucky, I mean, Hammer and Hammer's an older guy. Hammer's 10, but Hammer's a road tripper, man. He's like, we're here, we're good. All right, let me know when I can go.
And Elizabeth, does Beebo fly?
Yeah, Beebo has flown with me a few places. We've flown to Salt Lake City and we've flown to Seattle. He's done really well on both of them. But yeah, I think flights make him a little bit more nervous because he does have to go as soon as we land.
Is he an emotional support? Or does he go? Okay, yeah, because he's a little bigger. Booger is my pet, so she's not an ESA. I have to fly her as a carry-on under the seat. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I've always wondered, like, I think she would do okay if she were an emotional support. I think she would do okay because she's used to it. But I feel like Chucky would just be all over the place. He'd be trying to say hi to everyone.
Yeah, so Digby's an emotional support, but yeah, I think he's emotional support for everybody else around except me. For me, he's just like emotional ragtag.
He just wants to meet his fan club.
He does. He has a fan club. He wants to meet them. So.
And speaking of fan clubs, we talk a lot on the podcast here about the paparazzi and how when you have corgis, you become very popular. And one of my favorite stories, I tell this one often, but a friend of mine, he's gone with us a few times on some of these road trips, and we went to San Diego one time, and we were on the pier, and we'd stopped at this little shop, and I said, I just want to run in, I want to look at something. Do you mind sitting out here? And when I came out, he just was surrounded by about 20 people. It was before Chuckles. So I had Lilo, Hammer, and Booger. And there were about 20 people just amassed around him taking photos. And then, of course, they're all loving it because they're like, yes, I know I'm perfect. My mom tells me all the time. And when we were on the trip, and of course it happens at the airport as well, you hear, corgi, oh my gosh, it's a corgi, oh my gosh, it's a corgi. So we call that the paparazzi. And to hear you speak that Beebo, of course, has fans everywhere. Are you noticing that? Are you noticing that when you go out with him, that just, you get all this attention and he gets all this attention because you're traveling with your corgi?
Yeah, pretty much. Whenever I take Beebo anywhere, I just plan on it taking 3 times longer than normal. We are always like, he's always getting stopped. Like, oh my God, can I pet him? What's his name? And all of that. It takes forever to do anything with him now.
Well, yeah, because you have to stop and socialize.
Yeah, I noticed that going to the store once with Digby. That yes, Digby had to stop and socialize with everybody. Digby likes to stop and socialize with everyone anyway. Digby likes to flirt with all the female dogs in the neighborhood. He's
a ladies' man.
He's a ladies' man.
Yeah, he is. And what's funny is my next door neighbor has a sister named Catherine who lives nearby. Catherine. And I found out from my neighbor, she said, does Digby live with your friend Catherine? And I said, yes. And I said, how did you know that? She said, my sister recognized him from last year's Christmas card. But Catherine had not introduced herself to this Catherine. They saw you hiking on the mountain, I think, because you live nearby. So Digby tends to stick in your mind. He's a memorable guy.
He is a memorable guy. He is an absolutely memorable guy.
He's got his own fan club.
He does. He does.
So, Elizabeth, what would you say your favorite part is about life with Beebo? I know that's a hard question. Like, what is not your favorite? But if you were to pick, I don't know, 1 to 3.
I mean, in general, it's just having, my best friend with me all the time. He's just brought so much joy into my life. And, the fact that he brings joy to other people really means a lot to me, just because, he means a lot to me. And I just am happy that other people get to enjoy him as well. And, just learning to love the little things that he does, greets me when I come home. If I'm sad, he'll come drop a toy at my feet or something like that. He just is doing his best to always make sure people feel welcome and happy.
I love that so much. That's so precious.
Yes. And does he, as an ESA, does he have formal training? Or
he's worked with a trainer. He does really well. I eventually want to get him, officially like trained and certified as a therapy dog.
Oh, wonderful.
And then we're going to go, volunteer at hospitals and stuff.
That's fabulous.
Oh, they will love him.
They will love
I mean,
him.
how can you not love Beebo? He's so precious. He's one of my favorite corgis. I would say don't tell anybody I said that, but
you just said it on the podcast.
But I said it on the podcast, so everybody. I said one of.
I
mean, they're kind of all my favorite.
That's true. I'm becoming quite the corgi mom. The other day, someone said to me, or rather, my girlfriend, another one of my friends, was describing my corgi and kept saying, "It's a Welsh Pembroke. It's a Welsh Pembroke," and I was like, "No, he's not. He's a Pembroke Welsh and cardigan."
We think.
And then
allegedly, we're not sure.
Well, he's allegedly a Pembroke Welsh, but he looks more cardigan, so I say he's both. And I shocked myself at being very particular at what type of corgi he is. So, what type of corgi is Beebo? For those,
he's a Pembroke.
He's a Pembroke,
and he's a red-headed tricolored, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think Chuckles is what they call factored, black-headed trifactored, because he does have the black head, but it's not all the way over his mask. It's just on his head. And then Booger's a red-headed tri, like Beebo. And then Hammer's my red. We don't know what Digby is. Digby's white and red.
Digby is white and red, yes.
Yeah.
Digby is my adorable boy. That's what Digby is. He's my adorable boy.
He is. He's precious. Well, I'm going to share for our viewers on Instagram. It's Beebo the Corgi. And for those listening who can't see the screen, it's a Beebo the Corgi, Beebo the Corgi. If you want to follow Beebo's travels on Instagram, and we're all going to be staying tuned for seeing when he starts doing his therapy work, because I think that's going to be a lot of very moving moments that you will have.
Absolutely. And for those, again, who are listening and not actually watching this podcast and listening to it, and if you don't own a corgi is spelled Corgi.
Yes.
Not Gee.
Or GIE, it's just GI.
Yeah. Corgi. So it's Beebo, Beebo. Beebo the Corgi. And that's his Instagram handle. And then Beebo's mom, tell us a little bit about your art.
Yes, please do.
Yeah. So drawing is just something I've always loved doing. It's a side hobby that I do. And I recently made an Instagram for my art. I just like to draw Beebo, and people have started reaching out to me to start doing commissions, which is really cool. So I love drawing dogs, cats, mostly animals that I get asked to do. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That is fun. So we might actually need your help. One of the things that we're going to do at Corgi Town is a subscription box, kind of like a bark box, but it's going to be tailored to Corgi owners. So a lot of times you get costumes, you get clothes, you get things that you never know if you should order a small or a large, because parts of it will fit, but other parts won't, because they're corgis and they're regular size stuff. So things like that, tailored to corgis, and then of course chewables and things. But one of the things I want to do is a Corgi of the Month. So for anyone listening and our viewers, I know we have the sticker trades, and I know Beebo has been part of the sticker trade. I want people to send me the stickers. And what we'll do is every month, and I TBD on when we'll start this, but we are in this beginning stages of starting that. But we may actually need your help with that on maybe some additional artwork. We don't know what we'll put on the box. It needs to be specific to Corgi Town. We have a logo that we'll put on there. But I do want to have one of the stickers of some of our audience, some of our Scream team, and other pups out there. And every month each dog will have their own box, and all of the subscribers will get the sticker of that dog's box per month. So I might be reaching out to you for some help with some artwork. Maybe others that don't have stickers yet, haven't done the sticker trade, but they want to participate, or maybe just additional artwork if you want to include something in there for your work. It's up to you, but we may reach out to you to see if we can do something with that.
Of course, I'd be happy to.
And if you need sticker art, then you can go ahead to Beebo's mom, also known as Elizabeth, and go check out her Instagram page.
Do you mind reading out the IG handle for your art page on Instagram for us listening?
It's called Kiwi Creates. Kiwi is Kiwee, and Creates. So Creates.
Kiwi Creates.
So Kiwi Creates on Instagram for Elizabeth's art, and she does have some cute corgi art as well.
And you want Beebo the Corgi.
And Beebo the Corgi on Instagram as well. You can follow Beebo's adventures, and he is a cutie. You don't want to miss him. If you don't follow him yet, you want to start. So we're big fans. Any final thoughts, Elizabeth?
Not that I can think of. Thank you guys so much for thinking of us and having us on your podcast.
We're glad you're here. We're hoping to do more. We have all kinds of segments that are all corgi related, traveling with your pet, just different things. And with you having the experience, we always need people that have the experience so that people actually hear from experts. And I feel like an expert, which I know is an overused buzzword, but experts are people who have the experience.
That's right.
So, well, give Beebo head scratches for us. Have a great evening. And thank you so much for your time tonight, Elizabeth.
Thank you guys so much, and have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you. So this has been so much fun, and we're so glad to hear her story. And I mean, I love Beebo so much. I'm always so happy to see him. He has such a distinctive little smile.
Aww.
His little face.
I love that corgis smile. I don't know that there are other dogs that smile, but corgis just smile. Mine smirks. Mine smirks like he's up to something, because he is.
Well, and corgi side eye is real.
Oh, corgi side eye is very real.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yes, yes. And people look at me like I'm crazy because I go, "Don't you give me that corgitude." Like, what the hell? And then I'm like, no, now we got the side eye. Now we got trouble. It's real. It's real.
It is. It is very real. Well, we thank you for joining us tonight. A big thanks to Elizabeth and Beebo for joining us tonight. Don't forget to follow them on Instagram, and follow us on Instagram. It's corgi_town_USA. And please follow our YouTube page at Corgi Town USA. We're here for you every Thursday with a fresh new episode, tips and tricks traveling with your corgis. Sometimes we just do a feature story like we did tonight with Beebo, but you always hear good tips and tricks. And maybe you want a corgi and you have questions. We also explore the health of the breed, what to look for in a good breeder, and we're always pro rescue. So we're always happy to guide you through that process if you want to just reach out to us and have questions. So thank you so much. We'll see you next week from Candy, Cat, Digby, and Chuckles on Corgi Town USA.
Good night.